Thank you very much. Let's be sitting up straight. If you're still wearing a hat, obviously that needs to go into your hand and to lay still on your lap. It's a great day to have all 1,730 of you here for the first full day of Nudgie's academic year 2024. You are most welcome. You'll be greeted formally by our principal and by our school captain, who'll extend their welcome, so I won't say too much more on the welcome stuff. You'll also meet our new teaching and support staff for the year, and you'll have presented to you First 11 Cricket, First 6 Volleyball, and the Senior A debating. As always, we pause at the beginning in Thanksgiving in prayer, and to lead us through that, we have Mr. Lilly and the Mission Identity Prefects for 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Mara, and good morning to all of you. Lovely to see so many bright, enthusiastic faces. Mr. Thompson, welcome, CLT, staff, and of course our Nudgie men. This morning we'll start with our acknowledgement of country. As we traditionally do, we are on the land that traditionally is Turrbal land, the people of Meanjin, First Nations peoples and part of the oldest living continuing culture in the world. They are the traditional custodians of these lands and waterways, which they call Numaji and Nada, and we call Nudgie. We acknowledge their ancient customs and the law of the land in which we are situated. We pay our respects and acknowledge all ancestors, elders and communities across this nation and neighbouring islands. Behind me on the screen, hopefully you'll see the image that I used last week with the staff, and it's entitled Nudgie Pools. It was produced by an artist by the name of Belura Watu. And it reminds us that whilst we're entering our 134th year as a place of education on this site, learning has been happening on this land for many thousand years before that. So we are part of something very special on this land that we are situated on today. And we have a very, very powerful legacy to uphold when it comes to being a part of this land that we're on. For those of you that were here yesterday, the new students and the Year 12s, I also shared an image of the gentleman who started this whole process of learning on this land in Catholic education that led to the formation, the inspiration of Ambrose Tracy to build land on this site. That man was Edmund Rice. Now, for most of us, we're very familiar with the work of Edmund Rice, and we hear a lot about him in our lessons in RE and assemblies and retreats, and we know of the wonderful work he undertook in inspiring others to work for the poor and to work for those that are in need and establishing the support for those in need. And we very much are continuing that in our time here at Nudgie. We know that work continues in 2024. And as a school founded in the Edmund Rice tradition, we continue to work for justice for those who lack opportunities and consider the love for God that motivated Edmund Rice's work. So we do this in three major ways at Nudgie. The first is through our social justice programs, where we go out in the community and help those in need, and we chat to those in need, and we're a voice for those in need. Secondly, our service learning, where we also go out the community with the aim to learn from the people that we encounter so that we can better serve and better understand. And the third, and we're about to pay witness to that now, is ministry, through our prayers and liturgies, where we're reminded what it is to live with Jesus in our hearts. And this year, Pope Francis has announced that this year is a year of prayer. So in a Catholic school community, it's a beautiful tradition to begin the new year with a prayer and seeking God's guidance and blessings for our journey ahead in 2024. So I introduce our identity prefects, Hugo, Robbie and Ned to lead us in prayer this morning.
Let us pray, in voice and in action, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, as we gather here today as the Nudgee College community, we come before you with grateful hearts, acknowledging your presence in our midst. We thank you for the gift of education and for the opportunity to learn and grow in the Edmund Rice tradition, which emphasises the values of faith, justice, and compassion.
Lord, as we embark on this new academic year, we ask for your guidance and wisdom. Help us to be open to your teachings and to the lessons that our teachers and mentors will impart on us. May we approach our studies with diligence and enthusiasm, recognizing that knowledge is a gift from you. We pray for our school community, for our teachers, administrators, staff, fellow students, and our families. May we support and encourage one another, fostering an environment of respect, kindness, and inclusivity.
Help us to be mindful of the needs of others, especially those who are marginalised or less fortunate, and inspire us to be an agent of positive change in our world. We entrust this new year to the intercession of Mary, our Mother. May she guide and protect us, interceding for us as we strive to be signs of faith, Signum Fidei. We make this prayer in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Saviour. Live Jesus in our hearts, and the Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
It's my privilege to introduce to you today new members of the college staff, and to welcome them on your behalf, I ask Mr. Thompson to the stage. Each new year brings newness, it brings freshness, and it brings renewal. That is most highly symbolised by the new students that start every year. But it is also great to be able to welcome new members of the college staff. First of all, I introduce to you Chunda Antoke. Ms Antoke joins us from New Zealand for term 1 as an RE teacher, covering Mr Capello, who's on leave this term. Libby Arrowsmith. Ms Arrowsmith joins us from St Columban's College and joins the RE faculty. Sam Bray. Mr Bray joins our maths faculty from Townsville, where he taught at Kerwin State High School. Mr Bray is a Nudgee College old boy from the class of 2016. Janelle Harding. Ms Harding has been a music tutor at Nudgee College and previously, and this year joins the performing arts staff as a classroom music teacher. Ollie Jones. We welcome Mr Jones, who joins us from Anglican Church Grammar School, where he was head of Year 7. He will be teaching maths and science. Meg Kingsford. Ms Kingsford joins our Inclusive Learning Unit as a teacher's aide. Brad McCullum. Mr McCullum returns to Nudgee College after some time at Cannon Hill Anglican College to teach maths and science. Belinda Pilgrim. Ms Pilgrim joins us from A.B. Patterson College as a teacher in the English faculty. Amy Roberts. Ms Roberts comes to us from Villanova and is a primary school teacher. Susie Chin. Returning to Nudgee after nearly 8 years at Somerville House and Mary MacKillop College, we welcome Ms Chin as our Dean of Learning and Teaching. Rishi Raj. Mr Raj joins our corporate staff as Director of Finance. Julie Saltisi. Ms Saltisi is teaching English and Humanities. Kirsty Stewart. Ms Stewart joins us from Whitsunday Anglican College, teaching English. Wayne Stewart. Mr Stewart also comes from Whitsunday Anglican College, where he was most recently head of boarding, and he is our new head of O'Brien House. And lastly, Ross Vecchio. We welcome Mr Vecchio to the college in the science faculty, where he'll be teaching physics. Please welcome all our new staff. There are also people who you do know already, but they're acting in new positions this year. Obviously, this is a great day for Mr Thompson, where he addresses you all together for the first time as our college principal. I'll be acting in his old position of Deputy Principal for 2024, and Mr Lilly will be acting as the Dean of Mission and Identity for 2024. You just met Ms Chin, who replaces Mr Sepatos as Dean of Learning and Teaching. In Term 4 last year, Mr Fulliger told you that Mr Damien Campbell, the Dean of Operations, was leaving, and right at the end of last year, for those of you who are here at the final assembly, he introduced to you Mrs Jenny Price, our new Dean of Operations. Mr Brealey and Mr Connellan continue their fine work as Dean of Boarding and Dean of Students, respectively. During the holidays, we were saddened to hear of the departure of Mr Mike Silcock as the new Director of Boarding at Rockhampton Grammar School. Mr Stewart, who you just met, will be acting this year as the Director of Boarding, as well as his new job in O'Brien House, and stepping into Mr Silcock's role as Head of Cotter House is Mr Tinsey. Also in new roles this year, Mr Smith replaces Ms Kafagi as the Director of Performing Arts. Ms Danby will be acting in Mr Lilly's old position as the Head of Faculty for RE. Mr Tracy steps into the Director of Learning and Teaching role as Mrs Hughes goes on leave in week 5, and I know that you'll all take time in the next couple of weeks to wish Mr and Mrs Hughes all the best for the exciting new stage in their life. Ms Herod is acting in the Head of Faculty English role for the year, filling in for Mr Tracy. And we welcome back to the college, after a brief period of extended leave, if brief and extended can go in the same sentence, Mr Casalino, Mrs Kennedy, Ms Brealey and Mr Staff. So, gentlemen, in the spirit of newness and the new year, please welcome to the stage your college principal, Mr Thompson.
Good morning, gentlemen. As Mr Mara said, it's wonderful to have you all here in one room. I'd also like to extend a very warm welcome to our staff and, of course, our parents who are with us today for some of the wonderful presentations that we have coming up. It was great to see so many new staff paraded across the stage here, and I hope that in the coming days, like Mr Mara encouraged you to do so, that you make them feel very welcome. Importantly also, gents, is that we acknowledge the 295 new students who commenced their Nudgy journey yesterday. So that, of course, is our intake of new Year 5 boys. We have nearly 80 students coming into Year 7. We have 80 students as well moving into Year 8 through to Year 11, as well as a number of new Year 6 gentlemen. So I won't embarrass them by getting them to stand up, but I would like you to offer a round of applause as welcome to all of those new Nudgy men. As I said yesterday, I encouraged all the students who were present yesterday, and I thank those gentlemen who took that on board. I ask that you extend a warm welcome to those boys. So if you see anyone walking around looking a little bit, still a little bit worried or concerned or a little bit overwhelmed, take a moment just to extend a hand, introduce yourself, and ask them how you can possibly help. Mr. Mara just touched on, I won't spend too much time on it, but it is very exciting to step into the new role of Principal of Nudgy College. It's a very prestigious role and one that is not lost on me. And I just, as I said, I want to talk very briefly about it, but in the holidays, as many of you present here did, you took part in training or camps or whatever it may be. And I was running along last week, I think it was, with one of our champion Year 8 students, Luca. And Luca actually posed the question to me, and I hadn't thought of it to that point. And I shared this with staff when I met with them first. And he said, "Sir, are you excited about being principal?" And I had to think for a bit. And change is a big thing. Change is a regular thing in our life. And it's a big change for me. And after thinking for a moment or two as we ran along, the thing that excited me most wasn't so much as stepping into the role of principal. It was the fact that I got to come back and work here again. I say in all authenticity and in a genuine manner, boys, I thoroughly enjoyed my first year working at Nudgee College. And what made it so enjoyable was the way that each and every one of you engage with the opportunities that sit before you. I also had a really warm welcome from staff and a very warm welcome from community. But that could happen, and if the boys weren't engaged and the boys didn't put their all into what's presented before them and live out some of those key pillars of expectations that we have, my year probably would have been very different. So I thank you all for making it an exciting place to work and one to come back to. I do look forward to the challenges that lay ahead as principal, and I genuinely look forward just to sinking my teeth into the role, as was my goal last year, getting around and getting to know each and every one of you that little bit better. I hope you all had a tremendous holiday. I know I did. I was by the water like many of you. Most of you that I spoke to said that you spent time either up or down the coast, or a number of you spent time overseas, but it's great to hear that everyone returned safely. And the idea behind holidays is that we come back refreshed, relaxed and recharged. And hopefully that's how you're feeling today as we move into a very exciting 2024. Of course, this place is a very big organisation. And the fact that you walk in today and you see the grounds as beautiful as they are, and everything, you've all come from assemblies in various places around the school with your house deans, everything runs smoothly. And so we have a huge network of support people to thank for all the work that they've done to make sure that when you've all come back, that you're hitting the ground running, that everything's looking as good as it possibly can be and everything operating as well as it can be. So some in their presence, so we have some people here. Of course, our teaching staff have worked very hard to make sure that they're ready for today. A lot of our support staff aren't present, but I would like you to offer a round of applause in their absence. And that'd be great. Thank you. One thing that I have to acknowledge, and one thing that I want you to focus on this year, I've spoken to staff about it, different teams that I've worked with in the last 2.5 weeks leading up to your arrival today. But it's the whole thing around improvement. Now, many of you may or may not be aware, but at the end of last year, very late, or mid-December, December 15th, we received our results from our outgoing Year 12 cohort, the 2023 seniors. And we were absolutely thrilled with their ATAR results. And we were equally as thrilled with the boys who attained certificates or diplomas. On the ATAR front, it was our best year that we've ever had since the ATAR occurred. So it was our 4th year of ATARs. So it was excellent to see that. I witnessed last year some amazing performances in the cultural realm. We had a great musical in Footloose, Sellout, great success, wonderful performances here on Assembly. Our social justice program saw great engagement from you boys, and that continues into 2024. We've got 4 GPS trophies, championship trophies, or premiership trophies sitting in our cabinet, which was a testament to the hard work of all involved. But what we need to continue to do, gents, is continue to seek ways that we can improve. And oftentimes it's just small little things. And each and every one of you are responsible for that. The quote that you see behind me, what you can do today can improve all your tomorrows. Now, probably not the best English, but I'm no English teacher and it's not my quote. But the message behind it should stick with you. What you do today will influence what you do tomorrow. And you've probably experienced that. You've probably had moments where you're really high and you're very excited about the challenges that lay before you every single day. and you end up having a really exceptional day. That could possibly lead to an even better day the next day. On the flip side, there's often times where you might be a little bit down. And you find if you can't get out of that mindset, that negative mindset, it will perpetuate through to the next day. So I want you to take that on board. And understand that the sum of everything that you do each day leads you to where you are. For some of our Year 12 boys who commenced their final year of secondary schooling, of their Nudgy journey, your journey at Nudgy started in Year 5. You're a very different person to what you were when you commenced Year 5. And that's the sum of all the parts and all the people who've invested in you. And on that point of improvement, and just on being responsible for your own journey, I found a quote in a school that I was walking through a number of years ago, and I've slightly nudgified it or adapted it to our Nudgy context here. If everyone at Nudgy College had your attitude, what sort of school would we be? Now, make no bones, this is a really good school. I expressed that at the start, and hopefully you get that sense that I love coming here. I love being a part of the staff that we have here that works so hard. I love being part of the wider community. I love interacting with you gentlemen every day. And on a whole, the vast majority of you, your attitude contributes to the wonderful place that exists here. So that's a really important thing. Small improvements every day. If you come with that attitude that you can make this place better, we are going to be better. Really important message I want to convey on this, my first address to the entire school, is that first and foremost, gents, we are a Catholic community. And of course, we're a Catholic community founded in the tradition of Blessed Edmund Rice. And Mr. Lilly spoke a little bit about that. We have our touchstones and our faith star. Our faith star that you can see behind me expresses those great values that if you attempt to attain every single day, you attempt to live your life by exhibiting each and every single one of those, you will be an exceptional human being. And likewise, our 4 touchstones, they epitomise the life and example of Blessed Edmund Rice. And they'll pop up on the screen in a moment. And what Edmund Rice did is he aspired to answer the call of Jesus, who asked us to be model human beings, to treat others as we would like to be treated, amongst these many beautiful messages. But each of those that you can see there, experiencing a liberating education, having an inclusive community, part of our prayer, mention that word inclusivity. Our gospel spirituality helps form those values that we saw on the board. And as we heard Mr. Lilly in our prayer express, justice and solidarity are so key to everything that we do. So if we're first and foremost a Catholic community, we've got to remember we're a school. And very closely behind comes our learning, and you as a learner. Please don't be confused about this. You come here as a learner. That is your first priority. I know some of you have incredible talents, and we're going to see some incredibly talented people parade across the stage here very soon. You've got wonderful skills and knowledge, but you are here as a learner. And that is the most important thing that you'll do every single day. All of the other opportunities that you have, yes, get involved. And I can guarantee you, the more you get involved, the better the learner you'll be, the better connected you'll be to Nudgy College. So that's a really, really important message. And our new Director of Learning and Teaching, Miss Susie Chim, will get up soon to reiterate some of those points around you as a learner. You've got exceptional teachers here. And our exceptional teachers are supported by an even bigger support staff. So please take advantage of that. One thing I will talk about is our wonderful leader who left last year, Mr. Fulliger. And one of his last messages that he pushed out to those boys who were with us in 2023 were those 3 key elements he challenged you to try and achieve every single day. And in doing that, that was around being focused when you turn up, being resilient, because things don't always go right, it's how you bounce back, but also being kind. And if for those who knew Mr. Fulliger and who were present and are better off for having him as a leader, you can really enhance his legacy by continuing to strive to do that every single day. But the message I have for you in 2024 is around gratitude and asking you to exhibit gratitude wherever possible. It's a really important thing in my life. I try to do it wherever I can, and I think it makes me a better person. I'm always striving to be better, but I think on a given day when I'm showing gratitude in a wonderful manner, I'm a pretty good person. I go to sleep pretty easy. You're going to learn very soon, boys, that I'm quite a fan of some of the leaders in our Catholic Church, and particularly Pope Francis. And he was mentioned before. Pope Francis has got this wonderful ability of turning really complex messages sometimes that we find in our Gospels, in the Bible, into really accessible and understandable pieces of information. He's got a great turn of phrase. And so he's got that wonderful gift because, believe it or not, he used to be a high school teacher. For 2 years, he taught school in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, where he grew up. But at the end of 2020, Pope Francis had this to say about gratitude. Above all, let us not forget to thank. If we are bearers of gratitude, the world itself will become better, even if only a little bit. But that is enough to transmit a bit of hope. The world needs hope. And with gratitude, with this habit of saying thank you, we transmit a bit of hope. Everything is united and everything is connected, and everyone needs to do his or her part wherever we are. So showing gratitude can look very different to different people. Each of you sitting here today, gentlemen, each of you sitting here today has a lot to be grateful for. For starters, the fact that you're blessed to attend Nudgee College. That's really important to realise. Those who've been here before, up till 2023, you would have heard the term golden ticket. And Oscar, our school captain, who's going to address you very soon, spoke about it yesterday with our new students, our Year 7s and our Year 12s. So please understand that you're privileged to attend this school. It's important to understand that you're privileged, but you're not entitled to it. And there's a little bit of a difference there. And it brought me to this quote that I read recently by a very inspiring woman by the name of Brené Brown. So some of you may have heard of her before, and she's got great messages around vulnerability. She's a well-known academic and author, and you can see what she stated behind me. What separates privilege from entitlement is gratitude. Think of that for a moment. What separates privilege from entitlement is gratitude. Blessed Edmund realised he was privileged. Many of you know the story of him. If you're new to the school, you're going to learn the story of him. He knew he was privileged, but he wasn't entitled. He was a successful businessman, made a lot of money. And he got to a point in his life where he realised that there were other things out there. If he only thought of himself as being entitled instead of privileged and didn't act on that, we wouldn't be here today. He was grateful for the success he had achieved in life, to the point where he wanted to share the fruits of his success with others. He devoted enormous amounts of money and time and energy to providing opportunity for boys who were missing out. We need to be grateful for the life of Edmund Rice, and it starts there. What this means, boys, is that you should not see Nudgee education as something you're owed or entitled to. It's a privilege that's been granted to you and that you should be incredibly grateful for. People have made incredible sacrifices for you to put this uniform on. If you genuinely exhibit gratitude for the privileges that come your way in life, you will remain humble. And that turns you into an excellent human being. Humility, gents, is at the core of the two figures who act as inspiration for our school. Blessed Edmund Rice and Jesus Christ. The more you show gratitude for the good things in your life, both big and small, the easier it is to stay on that path of humility. So, what does showing gratitude look like? Simple thank yous wherever you can. Picking up after yourself at recess or lunch. Doing the best you can each lesson, understanding that a teacher has gone to a great deal of effort to prepare that lesson, saying thank you to the ground staff when you cross paths with them, or each afternoon just going home and saying thanks to mum and dad, your carers, parents that you have at home, for what's given to you, your house parents in the boarding house. Expressing gratitude regularly will make you a better person, I guarantee it. So gentlemen, I finished there. I thank you for listening. I want you to enjoy the powerful messages that will follow me and the celebrations, of course, that we will acknowledge on stage. Congratulations to all of the boys who will be up here. And I look forward to walking alongside each and every one of you this year and in the process achieving great things at Nudgee College in 2024. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Thompson, parents, staff and students. It's my absolute privilege to be standing here today as your new Dean of Learning and Teaching. As I do so, I too wish to pay my respects to the lands on which we meet today, the lands of the Turrbal and Yagara people of Meanjin and Brisbane, and I hope that we can walk gently and peacefully with them together. As I return to Nudgee, I am reminded of the strong culture we have here at this beautiful school. As I've walked the grounds this morning, apart from being reminded that I'm extremely short, I have seen the college values acted out by our community as we look with excitement to 2024. What strikes me the most, though, in this post-COVID world is the need for courage in our learning. Courage is a choice. In fact, it's a vitally important choice. Aristotle once wrote that courage is the very first of all human qualities, because it is the quality that guarantees the others. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, courage is the ability to control fear and be willing to deal with something that is difficult. Learning in and of itself is difficult. It requires us to make sense of new information, and in some cases we need to unlearn old information. And in doing so, our brains have to rewire. It requires some mental discomfort and a hint of grit, a bit of perseverance and some resilience. The Cambridge Dictionary continues by stating that courage is to be brave in the face of hardship and to harness the drive to keep moving forward. When learning gets difficult, it is in fact courageous to push through, to be authentic, to use your learning habits, and to use your help-seeking strategies to progress in your learning every single day. Remember, courage is a choice. If we have the courage to walk into our own learning journey, into our own story, we get to write the ending. But today, courage starts with showing up as a Nudgee learner and letting our authentic selves be seen. So as we start the academic year in this amazing community of ours that we're so grateful for, I challenge you to contemplate, how is it that you will choose to show up in your learning in 2024? How will you be a courageous Nudgee learner? I look forward to seeing the courageous learning across our college this year. Thank you, boys.
I wanted to start off with a story of a well-known basketball player, Michael Jordan. When we think of Michael Jordan's story, we associate it with one of success and of triumph, a story littered with achievements and void of failure. However, as many of you would know, his path to success, as many are, was forged in hardship. At a young age, Michael had a dream of playing in the NBA inspired by the urge to follow in his brother's footsteps. When Michael Jordan was 15, he tried out for the high school basketball team, but was rejected due to his small size. A roadblock in his path to success, a crushing blow to his dream. Yet Michael turned failure into fuel. He worked hard each day, and in the following 2 seasons, he averaged 25 points per game. Similarly, at the age of 30, his dad was unexpectedly murdered, which caused Michael to temporarily retire from basketball. A testament to the level of grit that Michael Jordan had, he bounced back from this catastrophic loss and returned the following year to lead the Bulls to 3 straight NBA championships. Michael Jordan's story is living proof that hard work conquers all, and that failure is merely a stepping stone to success. Good morning, Mr. Thompson, members of the CLT, staff, parents, and my fellow Nudgee brothers. I hope you all have had a great break, energised and ready for a great year ahead. This term, we will all be challenged, and to overcome these challenges, we must embody the same determination and persistence that MJ demonstrated. We must view failure not as the end of our endeavours, but rather an opportunity for growth. As Michael Jordan said, if you're trying to achieve, there will be roadblocks. I've had them, everybody has had them, but obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it. So whether it's missing out on making the volleyball, cricket, or rowing team you wanted, narrowly losing a debate, or not getting the marks you desired, I challenge you to persist and live out the same mindset that MJ had. It's not the absence of failure that determines our success, it's our response to failure that does. In the term ahead, there will be many opportunities that arise, and I urge you all to make the most of them. With everything going on both inside and outside of these gates, it's crucial that you achieve a balance and manage your time wisely. It's easy to prioritise social commitments over academia, so remember to stay on top of your work this term. Over the coming days, I encourage you to set your goals for this term. Don't be afraid to aim high in the pursuit of excellence, and most importantly, don't be afraid of failure. If there's one question that I get asked the most, it's how will I bring back Nudgee spirit this year? For me, Nudgee spirit revolves around sacrifice. Sacrificing our time for the less fortunate, sacrificing our time to help a mate, sacrificing our time to support the various teams on the weekend. This week, our first teams meet their first challenge of the season after tirelessly training over the break, debating on Thursday and cricket, volleyball and rowing on Saturday. This is our first chance to show the Nudgee spirit that we speak so highly of. This is our first chance to meet the challenge together. I wish everyone a great first day back. Good luck to all those playing in fixtures this weekend, and encourage everyone to get around the Nudgee Spirit Insta page ahead of the weekend. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Thompson, members of the CLT, staff, parents, and my fellow Nudgee brothers. Nudgee College boarding, a true home away from home. Over the past 2 days, we have seen a dormant boarding house transform back into the energy-filled ambience which we all know and love. This year, we've been delighted to welcome 77 new boys and 12 new staff. As Mr. Mira said on Monday to you in the chapel, this journey which we have embarked on will last a long time beyond school, because life unfolds into new chapters, but the bonds forged with mates will endure. Whether navigating career paths or embracing diverse adventures, the shared laughter and support of true friends remains constant. So I'd just like to say, well done on a successful start to your Nudgee life, and the hardest parts are now behind you. Starting this year, boarding has also constructed a revised set of core values in which we as a community hold ourselves to and strive to maintain. These revised values emerged through consultation with boarders, families and staff. This timely process encouraged inclusive dialogue and thoughtful considerations, avoiding sudden changes. Through this process, we were able to ensure that the values authentically reflect the collective vision of the whole community. The 4 values that we have landed on are faith, family, courage, and trust. 2 of the values are new this year: family and courage. First of all, family. In an imperfect and diverse, yet balanced family, we embrace each other's highs and lows, fostering support, respect, and inclusivity. We accept the diverse threads that make us unique, navigating life's challenges with understanding hearts. Through laughter and tears, our connection thrives, transcending perfection in favour of a loving home where acceptance binds us together. Then there is courage. Courage can come in many forms, such as putting yourself in front of an angry 120 kilogram prop or owning up to a mistake that you know you have made. And to be a boarder, you need a little bit of courage every day. Living away from home has its challenges and will test every boy in different ways. Ultimately, these challenges and the courage required to overcome them will promote personal growth and development. Then the 2 values that we felt need to remain the same were trust and faith. Trust is the cornerstone of successful boarding, uniting boarders, staff, and families in a shared foundation of reliability and understanding. It forms the essence of our interconnectedness, fostering a supportive environment where challenges are met with collaboration and belief in one another. Then, as we know at Nudgee, first and foremost, we are a Catholic education under the Edmund Rush tradition. This is what we stand for, the value of faith. It's the blanket that covers us all. It's in our actions and in our words. It's who we are. Once again, I would just like to say congratulations to all new boarders and wish them and all the new students good luck on their first proper day. Thank you.
Thanks, Grady, and a warm welcome again to all our boarders. You're most welcome here at Nudgee. I'm thrilled to stand here before you this morning as your new Director of Performing Arts. Why, you may ask? Because of the exceptional cultural opportunities that we have here at Nudgee for Nudgee men and what those opportunities could mean for you. Good morning, Mr. Thompson, CLT, special guests, parents, colleagues, and men of Nudgee. Before delving into our plans for 2024, I want to reflect on 2023 for a moment. Ms. Kafagi introduced the catchphrase, "A balanced me" in 2023. Arts Prefect Patrick Kennedy, or PK, exemplified this with a balance of academic, athletic, and chess prowess. Engaging in sports, performing arts, and academics, he challenged himself physically, mentally, academically, culminating in becoming the College Ducks of 2023 with one of the highest ATAR scores in this state. On screen, hopefully you can see a picture of him from this time last year with his school bag, his chess piece, and his runners. A balanced approach worked well for him. Yesterday, our school captain, Oscar, wisely told our new Nudgee men, "You only get out of Nudgee what you put in it." I strongly encourage you to embrace both the sports and performing arts whilst remaining focused on your studies this year. Be courageous, a word we've already heard this morning, and immerse yourself in everything Nudgee has to offer. But don't forget, a balanced approach is best. Research from the University of Georgia supports what we know here at Nudgee already. Sports and arts complement each other, fostering cognitive skills and executive functions, contributing to the holistic growth and your journeyhood to manhood. At our next assembly, the 2024 Arts Prefects will unveil our new catchphrase for this year. Until then, reflect on the information I've just shared with you and think about how you can have a balanced approach this year. Here's a brief overview of some of our performing arts offerings for this term. Art Club starts up again Wednesday afternoons, open to all boys from grade 5 to 12. Please come along. Debating, as we've heard, kicks off tomorrow with our GPS season off to Ipswich Grammar. We've entered 2 teams from each year level into the competition, and I'd like to do a shout out to the grade 10s. Boys, we need you. So if you're interested in debating, I'd love to hear from you to sign you up for this year. Theatre Sports is back. We have sign-ups on this week in Tierney Auditorium on Thursday lunch. Chess is also available for all boys in grade 5 to 12. We do training sessions after school on Tuesday and Fridays, and our competition season is term 3 for chess. Esports is also back Wednesday after school for all students in grades 6 to 12, so we'd love you to be involved in that. Come along to the music block if you're interested. And music starts back next week with all our ensembles and music teams back into rehearsal. And remember, boys, keep an eye on the notices for music updates. We'll have rock band auditions coming out soon for those of you who wish to be in that. And again, music is for all students in grade 5 to 12. So how do you sign up? Jump onto your student cafe, check out Team app, or simply email performingarts@nudgee.qld.edu.au and we'll get you connected into a performing arts team. I'd like to now ask Mr. Thompson to the stage, as I have the honour of presenting the 2024 Senior A debating team on behalf of our Senior A coach, Mr. Dominic Carroll. These boys have shown excellent dedication to the team and will no doubt represent Nudgee in the upcoming GPS season with brilliance. Firstly, I'd like to present to you our team captain, Dominic Webber. Benjamin Ditchburn is also a member of the team, but unfortunately he is away sick today. Next, we have Rio Lethbridge. And to finish off the 4, Will McGrath. Gentlemen, let's congratulate these boys. Thank you, Mr. Thompson and the Senior A debating team. I'd now like to invite Dominic to the stage to discuss the 24 debating season to you.
Good morning, Mr. Thompson, college leadership team, parents, teachers, and my fellow students. I'm excited and honoured to be your debating captain for 2024. I started debating in 2020, however, it wasn't the start you would expect. My year level at the time didn't have enough for two Year 8 teams, so my brother, who was debating captain, made me fill in. I remember thinking our team was stacked for success, with Captain Oscar Awadi as our first speaker, myself as the second speaker, and Year 8 debating star Joey Pearden rounding out the team. I thought we would be unstoppable. However, we lost our first debate. Whilst we lost the debate, I instantly fell in love with something I never thought I would consider doing. And it taught me a valuable lesson: don't judge a book by its cover. So you may think debating isn't for you, however, you do not know until you try. So I implore you to give it a go. On that note, 2024 is shaping up to be the most promising year for debating yet. Coming off our best season in Nudgee College debating, our 2024 teams are looking to be even better. Our depth has never been so evident, with numerous pre-season training sessions such as Development Squad, Senior A Camp, and Master Classes every week. I would like to thank our coaches and coordinators for their tireless support and help throughout the pre-season. I'd also like to congratulate my fellow Senior A debaters, Rio, Ben, and Will, who are excited as I am for the upcoming season. With strength throughout our program, we can perform to the best of our abilities, and I encourage anyone keen to sign up for debating to give it a go. It is a perfect time to start debating, as our debating development day is this Sunday, which will consist of debating skills and techniques with St. Rita's College. As Mr. Smith has just mentioned, email performingarts@nudgee.qld.edu.au to get involved. With all this pre-season training, we are prepared. Now it is up to you. We have 4 home debates throughout the term, residing in weeks 2, 4, 7 and 9. We must show TSS, Toowoomba, State High and Brisbane Grammar School who has the best spirit. In addition, last year we held terrace round at home. However, we didn't win because the 2023 seniors lacked ticker and didn't even fill Teeny Auditorium. This year will be different. We are at terrace and we need you all to come out and watch this debate. If you all truly believe in Nudgy spirit, sign up for the bus on Friday the 23rd of February and watch Nudgy take over the Terror Dome. If this hasn't convinced you, I heard a rumour that Will Madra will dance on the stage. Also, keep your eyes peeled out for the Terrace Round Spirit video. In the meantime, our debating season starts this Thursday, with all debaters looking to start the season strong against Ipswich. Good luck to all debaters, as well as volleyball and cricket, who kick off their season this weekend. I now like to call Mr. Pybus to the stage.
Good morning, Mr. Thompson, CLT, staff, parents, and of course, Nudgy men. As always, this summer was a busy time in Nudgy sport. Rowing in New South Wales, Wampa Road, cricket in Adelaide, volleyball on the Gold Coast, athletics in Perth, swimming states, cross-country training, tennis camps, strength and conditioning sessions. On one of my slides, you will see our track and field boys who achieved a bronze and a silver medal at Nationals. The next picture, can we flick to the next slide, please, Mr. Carmody? On this second slide, you'll also see our Rugby Coach Education Conference, so popular that we're going to need a bigger venue. And here is our very own Ryland Brownlee, becoming the 4th youngest goal scorer in A-League history. Just don't ask him the final score in that game. In cricket, Nudgy hosted and won the inaugural Australian Cricket Challenge, welcoming teams from all over Australia and New Zealand. And some of the football boys hit Europe in a fantastic trip, and there's a few of them there in Barcelona, with a schedule that busy that some of the boys managed to fall asleep in a stadium with 60,000 people, naming no names. The achievements during that time are extensive, and most have been celebrated via our social media. But thank you to all of you who got involved and took advantage of those opportunities. A particular mention to our boarders who go the extra mile to attend these camps and spend even more time away from their families. I'd also like to give a massive thank you to staff, particularly teachers involved in these activities. So shortly we'll present our cricket and volleyball teams prior to round 1 games this Saturday. So I do need to be fairly brief this morning, but I would like to spend just a few minutes looking forward into the year. Last year was an outstanding year for Nudgy sport, but it's 2024. It's a new year with new stories and new drama in the pool, on the river, on the courts, and of course on the field. So let's take a moment to consider, what is Nudgy sport made of? And let's start with our school. So unless you walk around Nudgy with your eyes closed, it's hard not to notice. Our facilities are special. The opportunities are endless. But of course, it's not about the buildings. It's about the people that fill the buildings. Here's a few pictures of some of the most successful sports facilities in the world for developing world-class athletes. Spartak Tennis Club in Russia, on the next slide. Racers Athletics Club in Jamaica, and the Parisian suburbs of Banlieue, excuse my French, the breeding ground for World Cup winning footballers. These are 3 of the most successful facilities in history for developing world-class performers. Dozens of Olympic medalists, Grand Slam winners, and World Cup champions. So the question is, if world champions can train in these fairly basic facilities, what's your excuse for not being the best you can be, surrounded by the facilities here at Nudgy? You don't have to write the same story as others. You don't have to be the captain or the standout player in the first team. What does success mean to you? It might be getting in the Bs. It might be scoring your first runs, getting a serve in, taking a catch, making a tackle. It's your own success, it's personal and relative to you, and it's no less valuable than a hat-trick against Terrace in the first team. Next, we talk briefly about our staff. We've got close to 500 coaches involved in our sporting program. They don't have to do it, they don't need to do it. They do it because they want to give something back to the sport, to the school, and of course to you. So if they challenge you on low standards, maybe lack of effort, poor behaviour, or performance, I ask you to remember this. If I don't challenge you, I fail you. As coaches, teachers, staff, if we ask nothing of you, we fail you. If we accept low standards, we fail you. You won't get better, you won't improve, and you won't succeed. And sometimes you won't like it, and sometimes you won't understand it, but we don't want you to fail. We want you to succeed and be everything that you can be. Time. Here's a simple statistic. There are 86,400 seconds in a day. And here's a simple question. How many of those seconds are you using to get better, to improve yourself? And how many of those seconds are you wasting? In sport this year, cricket, rowing, rugby, tennis, whatever it is, we ask some basic standards of you. Be on time, be prepared, and be focused. It's about turning up, but it's also about more than just turning up. In the sporting world, we'd call these world-class basics. Get the little things right, and the big things will take care of themselves. And finally, you. What does it take to reach your potential? I stumbled upon a great passage that I'll read to you now. Show up and do the work. If they praise you, show up and do the work. If they criticise you, show up and do the work. If no one even notices you, show up and do the work. Just keep showing up and leading the way. With passion, with faith, with hope. Refuse to give up. No excuses. Believe in the impossible. Show up. Do the work. In the end, you'll be glad you did. And if I could have that final slide, please, Mr. Carmody. So here we are, the start line for 2024. Lots of hurdles in the way for sure, but lots of opportunities and great excitement as well. Nudgy men, this year, fill the grandstands. Look out for your mate next to you. Smile and enjoy the journey. I'll now introduce our cricket director, Mr. Tim Lang. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Piper. Some great messages in that speech. Good morning, Mr. Thompson, members of the CLT, staff, parents and men of Nudgee. As we stand on the cusp of the 2024 GPS cricket season, it is a great pleasure and pride that reflect on the success of the Nudgee cricket pre-season and the commitment shown by all the students and staff involved. It has been an extremely busy time across the holiday season, with many exciting development opportunities available to all Nudgee cricket players. These events include our 30-strong Opens Tour of Adelaide in December. Many of our Nudgee students involved in Brisbane North Championship and development representative teams. The inaugural Australian Schools Cricket Challenge was hosted at Nudgee in early January and played host to 26 schools from across Australia and New Zealand. Our first 11 team winning the Edmund Rice Trophy against Villanova College in the final. And just last week, another fun all-age cricket camp was conducted with 250 students participating in a range of skills work and 4 days of games against GPS opposition. There is absolutely no doubt our cricket players are well prepared going to round one this Saturday. All this couldn't be possible without our dedicated and talented cricket staff. Can I please acknowledge the efforts of Mr. Sean Tuvey, Mr. Justin Stearns, Mr. Nathan Reardon, and Strength and Conditioning Director, Mr. Trent Hacking, along with Cricket Coordinator Nick Graham for organising and executing a busy pre-season. Thank you to our Property and Services team, David Phillips, Annette Armstrong and Nicole Martin-Harmon for your first-class service as always. And to our First Aid Officer, Christine Atkinson, who was again instrumental in ensuring player welfare over a hot pre-season the last couple of weeks. To our Nudgee cricket players, coaching staff, everyone involved in the program, I wish you well this term. Have fun, put a smile on your face and work hard for the blue and white. I will now hand it over to our 2024 First 11 cricket captain, Matthew Fielding, who will announce the First 11 team for this weekend. Thanks, Matty.
Good morning, Mr. Thompson and members of the college leadership team, staff, parents and men of Nudgee College. It is a great pleasure to stand before you today to present the First 11 cricket side for 2024. Cricket has always played a pivotal role in the college as one of its foundation sports dating back to 1891. During the past 134 years, we have enjoyed much success, along with the obvious disappointments that sport occasionally throws up. But more importantly, we take to the field each weekend and attempt to emulate the legends that have come before us. For many of this squad, this will be the culmination of years of toil and hard work, with 8 boys returning into the squad from last year. Our season started some months ago with our open squad working hard to prepare our bodies, minds and techniques. As a group, we have challenged each other to improve, and I'm sure that they will do you all proud. With any selections, there are also disappointments. I want to thank the entire squad for helping us all develop as players and as people. I know for a fact that we will rely upon more than those named today throughout the season, and I have full trust in their ability to contribute if required. I would like to thank a number of people who have worked tirelessly to assist. Director of Cricket, Mr. Tim Lang, and the entire activities team for their support. Our strength and conditioning coach, Mr. Trent Hacking. Our coaching group, Mr. Justin Stearns, Mr. Nathan Reardon, and Mr. Sean Tuvey for sharing their experience and knowledge of the game. The GPS Cricket Trophy is widely regarded as the most difficult trophy to win, with each GPS school tasting success in the last 20 years. With your support and some good play from us, we hope to be standing back here to present the trophy to Mr. Thompson. Before I present the team, I would like to ask Mr. Thompson and Coach Justin Stearns to the stage to present the caps. It is now my pleasure to introduce the first 11 team for 2024. Marlon Armstrong, cap 1047. Hayden Hamilton, cap 1048. Sam Cooley. Finlay Jones, cap 1049. Jack Burton, cap 1050. Armitage Sidhu. Carmichael Dees. Jacob Turner, cap 1051. Angus McLean. And Spencer Green. Finally, I wish the volleyballers, rowers, debaters and swimmers all the best for their respective seasons, and I hope you enjoy your success.
Good morning and tēnā koutou to Mr. Thompson, members of CLT, special guests, parents and men at Nudgee College. I'm Theo Betteridge and it's a pleasure to stand before you as we eagerly anticipate the beginning of the 2024 GPS volleyball season. This year the Nudgee volleyball program has continued to grow, both in participation and the quality of play we're seeing on court. We're thrilled to witness a record number of students engage in the sport across all levels, and it's been a pleasure to see the hard work and dedication spanning from our newest Year 5 Nudgee brothers this morning through to our formidable 4th-6th team yesterday afternoon. There are a lot of moving parts involved in the program, and I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our coaches, staff and volunteers for their contributions. Your commitment is instrumental in shaping the volleyball experience for our boys. To all those boys stepping on the court for the first match this weekend, bear in mind that the essence lies in representing the school, playing alongside your mates and having fun on court. We look forward to seeing most of you as well tomorrow afternoon at the volleyball launch to see our old boys take on our first 6 side. We're a strong first 6 squad this year, and I'm particularly proud of the fact that 10 of the 14 boys started school in Year 5, with another 3 starting in Year 7 and Year 8. After months of hard work, this first six squad capped off 2023 by winning a silver medal at the Australian Volleyball Schools Cup. But now our attention turns to Ipswich Grammar this weekend, and the team will need your support. To the first six boys, after a disappointing result last year and a promising pre-season, some of you may feel pressure to get the job done this term. But I want to remind you that that pressure is a positive. It's a privilege. That pressure only exists because you have done the work that has put you in a position where you're expected to succeed. You're not here by accident, so don't shy away from that pressure. Be proud of it. Trust in the work that you and your teammates have put in so far, and you'll continue to do the college proud this term. I'd like to invite Mr. Thompson and first six assistant coach, Mr. Westphal, to the stage. It's now my pleasure to invite 2024 First Six captain Tim Felipe to the stage to present the starting side for this week. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Thompson, members of the CLT, invited guests, parents, friends, and my fellow Nudgee brothers. I come before you today grateful for the opportunity to lead the Nudgee's 2024 First Volleyball Squad. To those who chose to start or continue playing volleyball this year, I extend my heartfelt wishes for success and fulfillment. Every one of our brothers in the first squad, regardless of whether their name is announced today or not, has been working tirelessly over the past few months in hopes to once again claim the title of GPS champions. I hope that as fellow Nudgee men, some of you may find the time to come support your brothers throughout Term 1 as they battle against the odds. I am now delighted to present the 2024 First Six volleyball team. Rylan Carlisle. William Dallimore. Declan Maguire. Elliot Mills. Archer Springer. And lastly, Flynn Toomey. As we anticipate a thrilling season on the volleyball court, let me also extend our best wishes to the first 11 cricket team, the first 8 rowing, the GPS swimming team, and the debating team for their season. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. I was just doing my button up before, and it must have been a good holiday. It's a fraction tighter. Anyway, that'll be a job for me this year to get a little bit fitter. Gents, thank you so much for the respect and attention you have shown this morning. Obviously, you've been listening a long time, but I ask you just to sit up now. We've got a couple more minutes to get through. We certainly make no apologies for our assemblies. They're a wonderful celebration of our community, but also, as you would expect, an important time for us to set the theme of what's such a wonderful school community. So I thank all those young men that have been across the stage and contributed so much this morning. Also, in the student formation area, it's important for us to set a couple of focus areas. So firstly, one of our top priorities is obviously your well-being as young men, and also your resilience capacity. So I want to touch on a couple of things around that. The happiness and fulfilment are central to our well-being, and they are the things that we need to be extremely deliberate about, especially in a new year where you're excited about being here and you've got some energy to really put into that. So I'm going to challenge you on a couple of habits that I would like you to take some time to put into your weekly routine. Sir, if we could have the next slide, please. Be present to people. Your mates, your peers, your family, your teachers. That ability and that opportunity to seek to understand and learn more about people. Being optimistic, aiming high, being brave. And Mrs. Chin set that courageous learner theme for us. Fits perfectly there. Keep turning up. Put yourself front and centre of every class. Immerse yourself in our extensive co-curricular activities. Embrace feedback. Mr. Thompson touched on our improvement culture. Making time for fun and laugh a lot. What a great concept. Boys, be deliberate with that. And finally, give something of yourself. So we have wonderful opportunities for you to volunteer and give at Nudgee, but you also have a lot of opportunity at home. Hang the washing out, mow the lawn, offer to clean the dishes, stack the dishwasher. So many opportunities. If we can get some of those habits, then our fulfilment and our ability to be proud of all those wonderful achievements, it gives us a great opportunity to thrive and flourish through our year together. Secondly is obviously our high standards. So again, this start of this term is extremely important in resetting that. Two things I want to touch on. Firstly, which will be extremely topical for you, but also important for us as a school to ensure we have a smooth start. The first one's mobile phones. You'll remember that we had a very detailed consultation period in Term 4 last year. Gents, 700 of your parents completed the survey. That's an unbelievable stat. Okay, it means a lot to them. Over 100 teachers, it means a lot to them. So it's important that we got this right. We listened to boys in consultation workshops and you contributed a lot, which was really helpful and effective. So this is where we've landed. Obviously, as a general rule, we're a no-phone school. Okay, and that doesn't change from last year. So years 5 to 11 will not have your phones at school during the day. All right, they're not to disrupt learning. They are not to be seen between 8:20 and 2:55. Okay, very important. There's one time where you are able to use that, and that would be if you are purchasing something from the locker room or the tuck shop. For Year 12, you are exactly the same as above, except in acknowledging your journey to adulthood and your responsibility, you will have one exception, and that's during morning tea and lunch. Only in the Ross precinct area where you spend morning tea and lunch, you are able to use your phone for organisational things. If you need to message your boss, check your calendar for what lessons you have next, quick emails, etc. Okay, also organising any of your extracurricular activities. So really clearly there, and a couple of things I'll highlight for the 12s. No phones when you're walking between classes. That is the time to talk to each other. If you are a student that has a medical condition or you have a learning support plan that involves mobile phones or headphones, then of course you will register that with the student office or our inclusive learning team, and they will be acceptable. Same confiscation plan as last year, and I won't go over that today. Okay, the second one's our uniform and hair. And again, nothing new here, but a real challenge to you of keeping our standards high. Just a couple of points there on our summer uniform. Okay, if you are wearing pants, your socks must be black or navy. You must have your shoes polished and they are black, and you're also wearing a black belt. The school cap for 7 to 12 and the college hat for our junior school lads is compulsory everywhere, boys, except for when you are inside. And of course, our college backpack and our PE and sport bag are the only acceptable bags. One change there, just note that you don't need to bring those things to your PC tutor for that to be ticked off. Okay, obviously we used that process last term to resettle where we were at with that. We're confident now every boy has the correct equipment, so you don't need to do that in PC. But no, if there are breaches, there will be also consequences, and they're on the screen behind me. Okay, my final point today is about maximising your learning. Okay, so you've heard a little bit about being a courageous learner, that challenge. But more to that is around the detail of you being where you need to be all day, every day. We're at class on time. Okay, we're making the most of our lessons. You're conscious of who you're sitting next to. You're conscious about how you're working with your peers to get the most out of every lesson. You will know that an absolute bugbear of mine is around filling water bottles up and going to the toilet during class time. Gents, that is not acceptable. Okay, you've got plenty of time in breaks to get that sorted. Certainly wish you a wonderful rest of the week and a happy year ahead. If I could just finish now with a couple of details just to help with your planning for the rest of the week and next week. So gents, we'll move now and we're going to have 5 lessons in after morning tea. Okay, so they will be 30 minutes each. It'll be a chance for you to quickly build relationships with peers and your teachers. Senior investiture and blessing will be this evening. Gents, for you that's at formal uniform, and we'll be having a rehearsal in period 5. The rest of our co-curricular you can see there. Sir, if we can keep flashing, thank you. And then finally, just an early heads up for week 2. So Tuesday we won't have an ecology assembly. We'll be here for our commencement mass, which is a wonderful way to begin our school year. On Wednesday we'll have our inter-house swimming carnival. You'll see some details around that shortly. And then Friday for our SF period, year 11 and 12 will be in start of semester or establishing assemblies with the college leadership teams. And then our 7 to 10 boys will be starting their start of semester goals sessions. All right, that's enough. Gents, as I said at the start, thanks very much for your attention this morning. I'd also like to acknowledge our wonderful parents who have been here with us and stayed for the long haul. Thank you. You're always most welcome. And today we have College Senior Charlie Gibbon concluding our assembly with 3 cheers. Well done. Thanks, Charlie. So, gents, a slightly revised timetable. We'll have morning tea now until 11:25. So, teachers, that'll mean that our period 1 session will be cut short. Thanks, gents. Boys, we're not moving. Thank you. So morning tea until 11:25. Teachers, period 1 will stay the exact same, so that will be a very short meet and greet, and then we'll run as per your Google calendars from period 2. Thanks everyone, and if I could ask Fogarty House to move to morning tea. McGee House, you may move. Tierney, out the back door, you may move, thank you. Riley House, if you go the foyer.